Are you someone who just hates the World of Warcraft leveling process? Or perhaps you're an altaholic like I am, who spends their days wasting countless hours in older WoW expansions, trying to get every single class to level cap whenever a new expansion comes out? Well, regardless of the reason, a lot of you guys probably find the leveling process in WoW to be a giant chore that you wish you could just get through faster. So you've browsed around on the internet and you've discovered for yourself some leveling guides. I mean, come on, a lot of us have used them, all of which promise to increase the speed in which you get to max level, regardless of the expansion or way that you want to play the game. But the problem is, most of the best leveling guides are behind a paywall of some sort, leading you to wonder which one of these is the best investment for your money. Well, in this video, I wanted to put two very popular leveling guide add-ons to the test and determine which one is better in terms of getting you to max level faster, to give you an idea of which one might be the better investment if you feel like going down that route. So for this experiment, I have chosen to put two fan favorite guide add-ons head to head. Those are Zygor and RestedXP. And we're gonna find out once and for all which of these two is faster for getting that character to level cap. But first, let's meet our competitors. Zygor. Zygor is a World of Warcraft add-on that requires a monthly subscription to get the full experience of. There is, of course, a free version of it, though, that gives you access to a lot of this add-on, but you'll have to check out the website for the full details, link down below in the description. Now, Zygor, unlike RestedXP, is more of an everything sort of add-on, which receives constant updates from the team behind the scenes. At least it better receive constant updates if you're paying 10 bucks a month for it. And Zygor, it doesn't just give you a leveling guide, to be fair, but it gives you gold making guides, achievement guides, mount farming guides, pet collecting guides. Zygor has something for any kind of World of Warcraft player, unless you're a PvP type player, because not even Zygor can help you and your partner get to a decent arena rating. Anyway, RestedXP. RestedXP, unlike Zygor, is primarily known for being a leveling speed add-on for the game. That's what it takes its pride in. But the website, again, linked down below in the description, does offer gold making guides too. Now, like Zygor, you do need to pay for this add-on, but instead of it being a monthly recurring subscription, it is a one-time purchase, which of course, there is a free version to check out if you're interested in trying before buying, which I highly recommend that you guys do if you're interested. RestedXP has guides for everything from the base game, going through TBC, Wrath of the Lich King, whatever you want really. So RestedXP just covers everything when it comes to getting your character to level cap faster. And now that we've met our competitors, let us dive into the head-to-head challenge, shall we? For this test, what I've decided to do is I'm going to level two characters, both the same race and the same class, to level 12 in Wrath of the Lich King Classic to see which run ends up being the fastest, the Zygor or the RestedXP one. Now, why level 12 though, you might be wondering? Well, at level 12, that's usually when you finish your starting zone, and by this point, 12 levels in, we'll probably have a good idea of which add-on is generally faster for leveling. Now for this challenge, not only am I playing the same class and race twice, but I am also committed to following these guides exactly as they appear. I will not be doing any extra grinding or following any tips or tricks like I laid out in my recent leveling help video for new players. So now that the rules are in place, what class and race combo did I choose for this experiment? Well, I decided on what is, in my opinion, the most non-linear starting zone in Classic WoW, using a fan favorite, albeit a bit of a slow leveling, class. That's right, everybody. For the challenge, we are going to Mulgore, where we are going to be playing as two Tauren warriors. Let's move on into the challenge, shall we? Part 1. So it begins. I decided to roll with Zygor first just because I recently reviewed the add-on with one of my previous videos, and I was curious to see how it would handle this zone. For my character's name, I chose the heroic and virtuous title of Cowman Guy and jumped straight into the game. After a little bit of work on the action bars, auto loot settings, and so on, I was off and I was ready for my adventure. And as you can see, in the lower right-hand corner, I had Zygor telling me where to go and what to do. I even had an arrow to point me in the right direction. The layout, it's simple, it looks really good, and there's auto quest accepting, auto gear equipping. Zygor makes things easy right up front. Now over on the RestedXP side of things, I made my second Tauren warrior, who I decided to make a female because I think it would be easier to differentiate between the two runs for you guys if one was a girl and the other was a guy. I never thought I'd play a Tauren female, I admit, but here I was, proud and valiant, standing tall as Big Cow Moo. Together, my two Tauren would bring glory and honor to the Bloodhoof tribe. RestedXP, as you can see in the lower right, also offers a step-by-step guide window, along with an arrow at the the top to show you where to go. Unlike Zygor though, RestedXP does not have auto gear equipping. However, I did quickly discover that RestedXP does have automatic skill learning from class trainers, but Zygor does not have this. You two add-on designers should copy each other on some of these features, or at least that's what I think. But anyway, let's move on to part 2, immediate differences. Now you might be assuming, just like I did before I made this challenge, that it's possible that both of these leveling paths are going to be pretty much the exact same thing in the end. Same quest orders, same routes taken, same everything, at which point this test would be a complete waste of time. However, after doing the first run on Zygor and then beginning the second with RestedXP, there were some immediate differences between the two add-ons that was a huge surprise to me that really affected how fast the leveling was going. First of all, RestedXP, unlike Zygor, was actually including my class training within the guide itself, telling me when to train, what to train, and ensuring that I had enough money to afford the skills before I even went to go and get them. In fact, in the beginning of the RestedXP run, my journey began with me farming copper to quickly afford Battle Shout, whereas with Zygor, I was just told to start questing and collecting Planestrider asses. Now Zygor, unlike RestedXP, never once tells you to go and train your class skills, but instead it only informs you via a pop-up window that new abilities are available whenever you're near a class trainer. And as mentioned before, RestedXP also had auto class skill learning, whereas Zygor did not. Now number 2, in terms of the big differences, RestedXP immediately had me on a different route than Zygor did, even at times having me pick up quests that Zygor completely ignores. For example, in the Bristleboar Canyon, there's a quest in the cave, which you can see here on your screen, and although RestedXP told me to go over and grab this quest, ultimately to turn it back in the village, Zygor just completely skips over it, and honoring the rules of the challenge, I ignored the quest and followed what Zygor told me. Another thing is that RestedXP was making use of the dying trick to help with traveling faster, whereas Zygor was not. Zygor was having me travel long distances, whereas RestedXP was making it clear to let myself die every now and then, revive at a spirit healer, and this would cut a huge amount of travel time out of having to walk from place to place. This is actually a leveling tip that I talked about in my 10 tips for leveling faster in World of Warcraft, which I mentioned earlier in this video. Now, one thing that Zygor definitely had going for it over RestedXP in terms of differences was just the sheer amount of automation, especially when it came to gear. Zygor can auto-accept quest rewards as well as auto-equip the best pieces of gear in your inventory. RestedXP unfortunately does not do this. Although RestedXP does have auto turn-in and auto-accept quests, but whenever it comes to gear rewards, you have to manually select what you want and then manually equip it. So if you're extra lazy, Zygor has got you guys covered. Part 3, the race heats up. I had a ton of fun leveling with both of these runs, and I was thankful that both leveling paths were different, as doing the same thing twice would have gotten really dull really fast. Instead, I was greeted to the same quests, but I was told to grind in different areas in a totally new order, and to prioritize things in a completely different manner. When to train class skills, when to avoid them, and so on, at least on the RestedXP side of things. And so, my adventure took me all across Mulgore, both times, slaying cougars, swoops, and all manner of horrific creatures, like these tiny human mutant people called the dwarves. The Zygor run, for me at least, felt like I was playing World of Warcraft on cruise control. Flying through the quests, the mobs, everything being taken care of for me, with the only requirement on my end being to follow the giant arrow on my screen. RestedXP, however, felt more like a proper leveling speed experience, with taking advantage of every opportunity to die in order to travel faster, as well as saving our Hearthstone for very specific occasions. There was one instance I remember in the Zygor run where the guide had me use my Hearthstone relatively early, and so later on in the adventure, I was forced to do this giant walk back to Bloodhoof Village, and it just took forever. But hey, before you say, why didn't you just kill yourself? Again, I'm just following the guide and doing what it says, so bite me. But all in all, I think the moment that really broke the camel's back for me, the moment when I knew that the race was closed and in the bag for one of the add-ons, was when Zygor told me to do something that I did not expect. That being, go to Durotar. I was level 11, okay? Yet I was told to run the entire length of the Barrens, get to the crossroads, get the flight path, and make my way into Durotar and start grinding on these discount Godzillas in order to get that last level. And as you can imagine, this walk took quite some time, about 15 minutes to be exact. So I knew that it was likely that RestedXP was going to win in terms of time to level 12. At least by this point, you know, level 12 was Zygor. I had not only explored Mulgore, but I had the Baron's flight path and I had made my way into Durotar as well. I could have easily have walked over to Orgrimmar. So maybe, just maybe, all things considered, that was a positive due to the travel time I would save in the long run thanks to the flight path gains. I don't know. On the Rested XP side of things, however, I never once left Mulgore, and I finished and hit level 12 with quests to spare. And so we arrived to it at last, my friends, the ultimate conclusion of which add-on triumphed over the other in terms of speed and efficiency. Well, before I reveal the winner and offer my recommendations, I would just like to say that if you've enjoyed the video so far, if you found it informative, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing because it does mean a lot. And now let's jump into part number 4, the finish line. It was an adventure going through both these runs, getting to check out both add-ons side by side and getting the opportunity to play my first female Tauren. But this was it, the moment of truth. In the end, after hours of playing, these were the results. For my first run, the Zygor run, I managed to hit level 12 in 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 26 seconds. Not too bad, I admit, for an add-on that prides itself on being not just a leveling guide, but also an achievement guide, gold making, pet farming, and whatever. The ultimate World of Warcraft add-on, some people say. But what about the dedicated leveling guide add-on, Rested XP? How did it do? Well, my fine bovine self on the second run managed to hit level 12 in, get this, 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 6 seconds. Even with the Baron's run removed from the equation, Rested XP still would have been several minutes ahead of Zygor in terms of speed. But you know, I admit these numbers, they really surprised me at the end. While doing this challenge, I was convinced that Rested XP was going to blow Zygor out of the water, since again, it prides itself on being a dedicated speed leveling guide, whereas Zygor does not. But Zygor held up extremely well. You could even argue that with the Baron's run removed and maybe some death traveling thrown in, Zygor might have even had the exact or even a better time than Rested XP. So maybe you guys at Zygor should add some of those death run, things in. Just some feedback. Also, considering that Zygor also offers so much more than just a leveling guide, I would say that both of these add-ons are certainly worth looking into depending on who you are as a player. Here are my thoughts. If you are solely just looking for fast leveling, maybe Rested XP's speed appeals to you. Or maybe if you just want to level in pure comfort, Zygor would be your taste because of all of its automation. Or maybe you're someone that you're max level and you don't even care about leveling, you're an endgame player, in which case Zygor still has a ton of stuff available for you with all of its farming guides, gold guides, and all that stuff. I don't know, it depends on you guys. Which one do you guys find more appealing? Maybe Rested XP won this battle, but did it win the war? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section down below. And now, having found our winner, I do have to say, I kind of want to put Rested XP to another test. I want to put it against another popular leveling guide. I'm just not sure which one. So if you guys have any suggestions for another leveling guide that you guys have to pay for, or maybe even some free ones, let me know, because I'd love to do this experiment again. It's like a tournament. Kind of cool, right? Now, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out this one on your screen right now. In it, I review Zygor in full. I do intend to make a video like this reviewing Rested XP in full. Just haven't done it yet at the time of this video's release. And if you'd like to help support this channel and future uploads, consider becoming a member, where all of you will be featured at the end of every single one of our videos. Thank you guys, and I'll see you with my next project, and I hope that this video was fun for you. I'll see you soon.